Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to a interesting video to say the least. I think you all should know this about me. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and you'll know this now that I myself am divorced. Divorce is not a great thing. It's not a thing I wish upon anybody, and it's not something I like to talk about on this channel. I've talked about it very, very minimal times, maybe once or twice or something like that. It's just not something I don't like to talk about. I don't find it always a lot of people's business. However, I thought it'd be an interesting idea because it's been just over 2 years since the separation and divorce, that I would react to divorce videos on the internet and see what people say, because I can relate to it. I've been through it. And some people want to ask me sometimes about advice about divorce, and I don't know if I'm always the right person to ask. I can give some advice, but I don't know if it would help or everything. But I'm going to look at a lot of these random videos and see how people reacted to their divorce, the repercussions, what triggered it all, what advice did people give. I'm going to see if I agree with it or disagree with it, some of the facts that they lay out about divorce, just all random stuff I'm going to react to, and I'll give my takes on them and put my little 2 cents in. So let's get to the first one. All right, let's get to it.
I didn't think I was going to get married after I got divorced. I was like, there's way too much baggage, and there's a specific thing I'm looking for. And
is that a thing that women experience after divorce?
100%. After I started talking about the divorce, or just told people I was divorced, my belief was, okay, I'm just going to be single because I have a kid and I don't have any value. Literally, that's what I thought. And I had a bunch of people, especially more conservative women, who haven't even told people that they're divorced or that they have a kid. They haven't admitted that on social media, who are like, I'm going to be alone forever. And they're 26. I was like, you're a very attractive woman and you're very successful. That's just a lie you've been sold. So yeah, I fully believed that. I was okay with it. I was like, I'd rather be alone than in a bad relationship.
Okay. That's Michaela Peterson. I'm actually subscribed to her channel. She's really cool, very informative. I understand what she's saying too. This is through a woman's point of view. I was a man getting divorced, so it's a little different, but it could relate to a man too, that when you get divorced, you think to yourself that you'll never get married again, because people won't want to marry a person who's divorced because they think, what did you do? What did you do to this person? Are you just not lovable? Especially if you have a child. Luckily, I don't, but she has a child getting divorced, and that's extra baggage. And some guys won't be with a woman who is divorced and with a child. They'll just think that's just too much for them to handle. But you will find, of course, somebody. I already know she is remarried to another person, so she obviously found someone, because she's obviously very bright, very beautiful, and she's just, she's Jordan Peterson's daughter, so a very huge household name on the internet. But I understand what she was talking about when she first got divorced, and thinking that she would just not find another person who would love her for her because of that stringency of divorce. You were divorced? What happened with this divorce? Were you the issue? Were you the problem and stuff? And you have a kid? So I understand the fear that women would have too, because a lot of men do judge that, and they say I don't want to marry someone who was already married and stuff. So I get that. And honestly, there's a lot of guys that won't give a shit about that, but there are guys, very traditional guys, that will. So yeah, I understand. Oh, here's a controversial one.
You couldn't put two neurotic people together.
No, that's why lesbian
not.
relationships don't last. Because about 75% of divorces are initiated by women. And the simplest explanation for that is that on average, the most unhappy person in the relationship is going to be the woman. Well, why? Well, because on average, she has higher levels of negative emotion. That doesn't necessarily mean that negative emotion doesn't reflect problems in the relationship.
Yeah.
But she's going to be more sensitive to that. Well, so if you put two women together, what do you think happens? So
you couldn't put two neurotic people together.
No.
Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. Again, something I can't really speak towards, because two women being married together, that is 100% fact what he said, though, that 70 to 75% of divorces are initiated by women. Is that just a woman to a man, or is that women and women stuff? There's a lot of negative emotions with women and stuff, and dissatisfaction with women. A lot of women find themselves more emotional, unstable, and men bury their emotions. That's why that's not a good thing either, but that's just what men do. That's what men have been trained to do for over thousands of years. Women, wear their emotions on their sleeves more, and women just have more dissatisfaction with relationships, and that's why they move on. They think they can do better. And that's why a lot of women initiate divorces, because they think, I'm worth more than this person. I think I need it more, and this person is just not giving it to me. So how would that be with two women together? Would it be extra? Would it, level the woman down more? And I don't know. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. I think when it comes to more of homosexual relationships, I think two men, because they're a little more intact with their emotions, two men getting married is probably a better thing than two women and stuff. So, again, maybe I'm wrong. And you get comment below. If you're a woman married to another woman, let me know. Is that facts?
People who really wanted to get divorced ever come back around and regret it? There's a lot of reels and TikTok videos out there about, the ex always comes back. I think many times exes will come back around. They'll realize the grass wasn't greener. But you have to remember, wherever you go, there you are. So if you were a miserable person inside a marriage, you're going to be a miserable person outside the marriage. People do not change unless they put the work in to be different. Do people who wanted to get divorced?
Yeah, 100%. 100% she's right. If you are a miserable person within the marriage, you are probably a very miserable person also in real life. And yes, can someone really affect you like that? 100%. But you get work done, you end that relationship before it gets to that point that makes you that miserable of a bitter person. But usually sometimes you're like, I was just so miserable with that person. And you're just like, were you just miserable in general? Again, there's just this huge dissatisfaction with a lot of things. And people just, I'm not satisfied. And if you keep saying a lot of that in relationships, that I'm just not satisfied, maybe you just will never be satisfied. Do you ever really think about that? That's to everybody. That's not just to women or anything. That's to everyone.
Women are incentivized. Basically, there's such a major financial incentive for women to get divorced. As soon as there's even a hint of unhappiness, as a man, you should never sign a contract with someone who is rewarded for breaking it. No sane, informed man would or should sign that contract. As a businessman, it is one of the worst contracts you could possibly sign in your entire life. Women incentivized.
Interesting.
There's such a major financial incentive for women to get divorced.
Interesting. I know of the Whatever podcasts. I know that gentleman is very anti-marriage, so he's literally putting his own very personal opinions on that. I don't fully agree with him, though. Yes, 100%. What he talks about, because he's talked a lot about women who care a lot about money and they're incentivized divorce to take the money and stuff, or if they're not with a guy who makes enough money, they want to leave him for a guy with more money and stuff. Those are all very true, but he claims that I feel like this guy, I forget, is his name Ryan from the Whatever podcast? Some things he says is very true, but he's got this very stigma attitude towards marriage, and he thinks just all women think that way, and all women want to get divorced, and all women will initiate the divorce, even though yes, most women do 100%, like Peterson said, but that's not all women, and not all women want to take your money. That's a very negative and very skeptical mind, and just you will always have a fear tactic in your head anytime in your relationship if you think like that, and that is not a healthy way to think. You should talk to someone and get the feel of what they want and what they want out of a relationship and what they want within a marriage. And if you feel like it's heading down that path in your marriage, you gotta talk that out. And if you are a person with money and you want to protect your money, that's what a prenup is for. And I always do feel the way, if someone doesn't want to sign a prenup, then they shouldn't get married, because it's proving, like, it's not about like, oh, you don't trust me. No, it's to protect me. Like, even though you don't want the money now, I don't know what your mind is going to be in 10 years from now. So you should always sign a prenup. But that's just not all women. And I feel like this guy from the Whatever podcast, as much as I do agree with some points he says, I feel like he's just so skeptical of all modern women. And I get some people are losing hope in modern women, but that's not all modern women to a T. So slightly disagree with him. All right.
The reason why I knew I needed to get a divorce was because I have a crystal clear memory of me having sex with my husband and thinking about this other guy, and me knowing in that moment I have to divorce him, because if I don't get out of this marriage, I'm going to cheat on him. I'm going to try to find this. And I know that's really fucked up, but I didn't want to be a cheater.
No, it's not.
Let me recap here. While you were having sex with your husband, you were thinking about another man who you were who you had better sex with. And because the sex with your husband wasn't as good as the sex with this other man, you wanted to get a divorce.
It wasn't this, it was the connection. The reason why
Okay, we got that.
Do people who really wanted to get
Oh my god, I hate that she proved his point, and his point is not true, but she's almost proving it. Oh god, he brings some of the stupidest women I've ever seen on this podcast. Oh lord. That girl is despicable. I'm sorry. That girl should never been married. Okay, when you are in a marriage, in any relationship, do you think about other people in sexual ways? Yes, 100% you do. You just don't act upon it. Everyone does, men and women. That is just, sometimes you don't, but most, yes, of course. They think about other women, married men do, married women think about other men, and like, it's just, that's human nature. People have sexual attraction to other people. You just don't act upon it, and that's all it is infatuation. It's not love. It's not connection and stuff. And just because this woman was married to a man, but she wanted to sleep with another guy, so she left her husband just to sleep with another guy, and he calls her out on that, and she's like, no, it was a connection problem. It didn't really seem like that. It seemed like she wanted just to sleep with another guy while she was married, but she decided just to leave him. I respect her for that. I don't know if she cheated or anything, but it seems like she didn't cheat, which is good, but she had no reason to be married then. The thing is, if you're married, you have to stay committed. That's what it is. And if you don't want to, don't get married. I don't believe in like open relationships either. I don't ever think they will last, because that's the point of being married, is being with each other and just each other. I don't think open relationships work either. So if you really need to desperately act upon having a sexual intercourse with someone that isn't your wife or husband, then you should get divorced and never be married again. So yeah, just saying.
I was a whole married man, fully married, happy, never cheated, never lied, never did anything behind your back, never met up in the Sprinter and got my head in a parking lot of a strip club. You ain't got them stories on me. Now, everybody's got problems. Everybody go through shit. I never came at Sam. Over 2 years, never said one thing about that woman and came at her because I legally couldn't. Now, as soon as the trial happened, now I got some shit to say, because you accused me of putting you out of the house, changing the locks, and kicking you and a 1-year-old out the house. That's a lie. You put the COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and you arranged all the shit that you did, and now you trying to get me for $20,000 a month for a 1-year-old at the time, and I couldn't speak on it. And I'm hurt, and I'm bleeding out loud. I'm divorced, and I know why. I was a whole married man.
Wow. I didn't know that about Tyrese. I feel bad, actually. So I think when it came to his marriage, that she accused him of him doing all these things, and the moment she walked out, he kicked her out of the house and changed the locks, and she's like, it's all his fault, and she wants $20,000 a month from the guy. That's a lot of money. Holy crap, $20,000 a month, man. 20,000. Some people make that in a year. And I'm assuming in a 1-year-old, I'm assuming that's his kid. If it's his kid, he should be definitely paying for that kid. I don't think he should be paying for her, but definitely the child. That's his child. But it does suck that it hurts that because he kicked her out of, which was his house, because he obviously is the breadwinner. He makes the money. He's now labeled a bad guy because she leaves him, and now he's like, okay, get the fuck out. And now she's like, oh my god, he's this monster and stuff. And he's like, that's bullshit. He's just like, she left my ass, so get the fuck out of here, and I can give you 20 grand a month. That's a lot of money, man. So I get it, man. I get it. I understand. It's hurtful when someone wants to spread a lot of lies about you. I personally never had that, but I can see that it's very hurtful. So,
even though I don't want to be with him anymore, there is a part of me that wants him to still want to be with me. And when I kind of think about like what gets me upset, or why am I so sad about certain things, of him wanting to also go through with the divorce, if I don't want to be with him. My problem is not that I don't value myself, or I don't have self-love. I think if I didn't, I would continue to be in this relationship. And I feel like this found awareness of myself and the self-love has brought me to this point of wanting to get the divorce and move on and find someone, or many someones, that fulfill me, more.
Sound like that man about to be free.
That's complete narcissism. That's what that is. She's like, I don't want to be with him, but I want him to want to be with me. Oh, I don't know what you're on about. That's insane to me. That she just wants him to be with her because that's just a narcissistic thing. Because that's like saying, I don't want to say you're attractive, but you have to say I'm attractive, bitch. Selfish.
Hard truths from a 53-year-old about divorce. Your ex is going to meet somebody, and it's going to suck to see them happy on social media. But there's nothing that you should do about it or can do about it. And by the way, please don't look at their social media accounts. You need to be alone right now, at least initially. Jumping into something to avoid your feelings is not going to help, and eventually you're going to have to deal with them. Some of your friends are going to treat you differently because now you're the single friend. But that doesn't mean you need to go run out and find somebody. Most likely there's going to be lots of times you feel lonely and you feel alone. But guess what? It's better to be lonely alone than lonely with someone.
It was deep. It was deep. Very true. When you're divorced, obviously the person you get divorced from, they're going to be in a relationship. And it's going to be hurtful, but don't dwell on it. Don't look at their social media. If you have to have each other on social media to talk about certain things, especially if you have kids together, fine. But best thing to do is don't ever follow them on social media. Don't look at their social media. There's just no point. There's no point. It's just going to be hurt if you just see them happy, and you're going to feel crappy about yourself. So, yeah. That's very good advice. Very good advice. And as your friends, they're going to call you the single friend, but honestly, one of your friends will be a single friend as well. So, it is, of course, better to be lonely with someone, and someone who doesn't care that you feel lonely. So, 100%, I do agree. Those are very good advice. Very good advice. So, yeah, there you go. That was my little reaction to some of these divorce videos. I can go a lot more depth in my opinions on divorce. Maybe I will in another video, but not on this one. But this was fun. Thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the dark side.